very aptly many years ago, the best secrets don't need, concealment because they're basically imprisoned by people's incredulity to believe the astounding truth in and of themselves. So with a few hints, the Russians were able to completely camouflage the results from their mission by claiming that it had been shot down by a UFO.
Richard, I do want to begin to round things up here for the first segment in a little while. I have one more question I want to ask you, and then we can take a short little break here. But in terms of secret missions to Mars, secret operations of actually going there without our knowledge, there are various testimonials out there, people who we've had on the show and people who are upcoming on the show as well, people like Andrew Basiago, Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, the granddaughter of President Eisenhower over there in the States. Various claims about activities on Mars and them being involved in these missions. Do you have any comments on that at all?
Well, I'm extremely skeptical, and I will tell you why. Because this, to me, appears to be more of the same. Remember, I just discussed how Marina Popovich was sent on basically a political errand to go around the world and spread disinformation so nobody in the mainstream media would believe for an instant that anything unusual had been found by the Russian mission to Phobos back in '89. I think Basiago and Eisenhower and all of these names that have suddenly popped up are doing exactly the same thing. They're spreading disinformation. I mean, I could do an entire program taking apart what they're saying and showing how it doesn't square with the facts as we now know them. But I think it's part of a political stopgap, which is to keep the secret until officially it matches the timetable for official release, because too many people now, probably spurred on by activities such as ours, our investigation, have been raising questions in recent years regarding all kinds of things you're seeing on the spacecraft data. And the only way that you can stuff that genie back in the bottle is by putting people out there that make the most outrageous claims that nobody in their right mind is going to take seriously without really good evidence, and therefore you insulate and isolate the bulk of the public from believing and the bulk of the mainstream media from following or reporting on any of this until it is time. I think it's a very sophisticated PSYOPs program, and I think it's designed to keep things on their timetable and not allow, shall we say, unofficial leaks to be taken seriously before it is the appropriate time.
All right, Richard, let's take a little break here, but why don't you mention your book titles again, and if there are any of your DVDs or presentations that you'd like to mention, and of course for people where they can go to pick up copies of these, Richard.
Well, everybody can go to theenterprisemission.com and they'll see the availability of our research. There's a tremendous amount of free research available on Enterprise. Just, click on Enterprise and then begin to read and go through it. We also have much more comprehensive and shall we say organized presentations of this data in the form of my two best-selling books, The Monuments of Mars, A City on the Edge of Forever, which was it's now in its fifth edition. It was published originally back in 1987. It is the official story of our independent Mars investigation, beginning with my baptism of fire and realizing that NASA had been lying to me, among other people, all these years and concealing really important stuff that indicates that the solar system is filled with ancient junk and artifacts and the remnants of an ancient, incredibly advanced civilization. And then a more modern pickup of this story, which is Dark Mission, The Secret History of NASA, which I did with Mike Barra, where we kind of bring the story up to, the revised fifth edition that we published is about a year old. So in 2009, we brought out a revised edition of Dark Mission, which has about 50 or 60 additional pages and photographs, including some taken by amateur photographers of Earth's moon, showing artificial structures you can see with telescopes from amateurs from Earth on any night. You can look at the moon and see structures left by this extraordinary ancient civilization. So the cover-up is rapidly coming apart, and of course, in addition to the books, you can also find links on Enterprise to DVDs from various presentations I've done at conferences, particularly a DVD on the secret space program that I did last fall in Tempe, Arizona, which is available in a banner at the very top of the Enterprise Mission website, which I think people need as a kind of a background to see what previous political administrations, particularly the Kennedy administration, knew about all this. And it is my belief now that John Kennedy was probably killed. He was murdered to keep this secret back in the 1960s.
We've have so much more to talk about, Richard, so do stay with us. But again, then, the website, enterprisemission.com, and pick up a copy of Dark Mission. It's a